What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric the Cosmic Wizard, and this is Cosmic Tarot. This is going to be a collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars placement reading, whatever you need, whenever you need it. So eat the meat, spout the bones, take a resonate, and leave the rest behind. Collective, let's see what is going on with you all today on Tuesday, November 18th, when I am recording this, but all these messages are timeless, whatever, so whenever you need to see this, you will see this. All right. Five of Swords here. There is a lot of, I feel like it's a lot of mental battles. There's a lot of conflict here when it comes to the mind. You could have had some really dark, tough, negative thoughts lately here. And by lately, I mean within like the last 2 to 3 weeks perhaps, or five weeks perhaps. I don't know, there's been something since the last moon. There could have been some sudden changes in like your home life, and if not like changes around your house, maybe you've moved things around. I don't know. There's been some type of maybe how you feel about your home. Take it how it resonates. Or there's been some type of development within your home. Maybe you see your home, maybe you work from home and now you see it as a prison rather than a vacation. Maybe you see it more as a vacation rather than imprisonment. You know, you could find yourself taking on new projects, wanting to change something here within your home, but not necessarily knowing where to start. And your home can also represent yourself, your body, your sense of safety. You could have been starting to make changes towards like accepting and loving your body more, perhaps. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. I know it's not going to resonate for everybody, but that's just what I was picking up on. Ooh, someone wants to turn something around. Yeah, you've been feeling out of balance, but you've been working on it though. Your emotional and your physical needs, as well as spiritual and financial needs, have been out of whack here, and that's what you've been thinking about here with that Five of Swords and this Two of Pentacles. You've been going through a lot of setbacks within I think 2025 has just been an immensely, incredibly challenging year for all of us in different ways. You know, if it's money, if it's friendships, family dynamics, or a little bit of both, or all three. It is, you know, or two of the three. You know, it's been a lot of shakeups, you know. 2, 2, 5. Oh, hold on. I'm making coffee. Hold on. Here I come. Hey. On this table, because I don't put drinks on the big table, because that's just how problems happen. All right. I forgot I was. So you could feel like there is an imbalance due to your mind. I don't know. The Lovers here and the Page of Wands in reverse. It could have been somebody has been playing with your mind here. I'm picking up on someone here who I feel like when you grew up as a child, And I kind of do this thing where I like to make tarot and psychology related, because I feel like tarot is really just more of a tool to gain insight into one's psyche here. And what I'm doing is I'm really pulling out memories and things that you have been through here, right? So I can paint a better picture of why you think the future is going to be that way. Because I don't necessarily believe in predicting the future. I see paths or streams that could happen based on current energies and current behaviors. So that's the psychology of tarot to me, is looking at your current and previous behaviors to create a pattern of predictability of what's going to happen. That's basically like future telling. But you, at any moment, because you are a divine creature here with autonomy and your ability to navigate off course. You're not a planet that has to follow its, orbit. You can deviate at any time, right? So that creates nuances to tarot, which is why we can never say for certainty why we are right or wrong. And I'm saying all of this to bring it to this point of, you've had a lot of things happen to you when you were younger, and it took a lot to get over this defeated mindset, this lack mindset, this I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm ugly, I'm poor, I can't do things here. And what I see is there are people here from your past with this Three of Swords and this Knight of Pentacles energy who very much still harbor that mentality. Lots of people, honestly. The Knight of Pentacles here in reverse. You have the Page of Pentacles in reverse with this fucking Five of Wands. So this is someone who can be physically aggressive when needed. And I don't like that. But we have the Fool in reverse and this Knight of Cups. So there's someone here who, damn, you got a lot of people in your past. The Fool in this Knight of Cups here, this is someone here who does see your change. The Fool in reverse, but they are unable to do it themselves, but they want to encourage you to keep going. You have the Hierophant here with the Four of Pentacles. Someone here who wants to keep you trapped. Someone here that wants to keep you small. Why do I keep bringing up other people? Did this bitch just change my time again to 2:30? What is going on? Sorry. Could you meet at 2:30 today? Yeah, I could do 2:30. This is my therapist. It's actually better. It's less traffic. Where was I at? So yeah, there's someone here who feels stuck with the Fool in reverse, like they're unable to leave. They've made their decision here. And then I'm even seeing a potential fifth person. This Lover is in reverse with the Queen of Swords. This is it could be an ex-partner. It could be I'm also getting this could have been a parent. But with the Lovers in reverse, this was someone who did not stabilize your sense of self as a child for some reason. It doesn't have to be a parent. It could be a lover though. But this is someone who, an ex-lover, a bad lover, someone who is like, they feel like you've turned your back on them. They feel like you have they may see you as someone who is very knowledgeable, truthful. You say things that make sense here. But you have at least 4 or 5 people here from your around you, okay, who have contributed, that are contributing to your current energy field. Okay, Pinnacle, Earth energy, heavy Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy here. The Hierophant, Taurus again, Aries with the Fool here, the Lovers, Gemini, Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces energy, Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. But very heavy on Earth energy and air energy. Yeah, those are the two biggest. So it's all about stability, creating stability here in the physical world, and also mental clarity. Somehow, whatever your resources that you feel like you're lacking at this moment, if it's money, if it's time, if it's safety, security, stability, it's all tied to your mindset, to your mind, to your mental. And all of that is influenced by your relationships and not the word, not experiences with other people here around you. You know, I feel like you shaped a lot of your personal beliefs off of experiences that you have had and also those of other people. You know what they say, dumb people never learn from their mistakes. Smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from other people's mistakes. Something like that. I think you are the latter. I think you've learned from your mistakes, and I think you've learned from the mistakes of others. You know, for me, I could speak on this in the terms of growing up with a single parent, of a teenage mom, a teen mom before MTV came in and started putting cameras in people's faces. My mom was a teen mom before it was cool. And I was the baby, right? So seeing that, growing up like that, and just the perpetual like instability, shuffling around from place to place. I went to I went to 3 different high schools. We moved around a lot. She'd get a place and she'd be unable to stay there. Sometimes we didn't even move. We just changed schools. We lived at my grandma's house, and I will say this, I love my mom, and I don't mean to say just terrible things. I want to say something really, really, really important and really good about what she did, and she always did her best to keep us in really good school districts, so, we would live in really nice areas, and we weren't bussed, okay? We didn't just get bussed out there. It did create some kind of problems, but she kept us in really nice schools and nice areas. So, I got really good education where I was given the proper attention. My teachers saw that I wasn't reading. I'm not saying that they don't do this. I've worked in a very high needs school with kids who are delayed, especially in the inner city. There's a lack of real focus on addressing these issues. It's just kind of more like an acceptance than it is like this kid has difficulties reading. Oh, okay. And they just kind of like, okay, well, let's just go get them an IEP, and there's no real push to really fix anything. I went to school, and I remember just these 2 black girls in my class. They would always be so sleepy. And I remember one day I was like, why are you always so sleepy in class? Like, we had carpet time in the morning, and we do a little Pledge of Allegiance, and after that we'd get to the carpet, and I was like, why are you always so sleepy? Her name, it was twins, Brittany and Whitney, and they was like, our bus come at like 6:30. And I was like, oh. I remember I was like in the second grade, I was like, damn. I was like, damn, that's early. What the fuck? And I'm like, my bus comes at like 8 o'clock. I mean, I literally lived 2 blocks from the school. Like, the school was on this road. I lived 2 blocks down in an apartment complex. And my mom fought tooth and nail to get our bus stop moved because it was in the middle of like this, like the little triangle thing where cars go in and out along the road. And she was like, that's not safe. And she called every day to get that bus stop moved to a safer location for all the kids, not just me, but for all the kids to get picked up. She said that the school was saying that the bus company wouldn't let them go into the apartment complex. She called the apartment complex, and she was like, y'all won't let the buses come up here and pick these kids? And they were like, oh, no. They just choose not to. So she called back up there and was like, well, the apartment complex said that buses can't come up in here and pick the kids up. So we ended up getting 3 bus stops within our apartment complex. So that's That's my mom. She don't play about education. That's probably why I became a teacher, 16, because that was one of the only consistencies in my life growing up as a kid was you were in school. You didn't always start on time, but we went to school, and we went to good schools. So, you know, I forget where I was going. Oh, I was talking about instability and stuff. So, like, yeah, so, like, even though there was a lot of strife and a lot of things I had to overcome, there are good things as well. But having to navigate that, mindset of like being a strong person, being someone who doesn't let negativity or negative thoughts impede their brains and keep them in a fixed mindset is something that you've really struggled to overcome. I've been trying to make these readings short and just give y'all the nitty gritty, but then I just start to talking and then I hope you like my rants. You have to. That's why you keep coming back. With the Two of Pentacles here in reverse, it's been a struggle for a while here. And if you even look, these two cards have a very similar palette, right? Even though this is a sword and this is the Pentacle suit, they're not even in the same suit. But you can see that these are very complementary outfits here. So to me, this is someone who, you've come a long way. With the Two of Pentacles here, it's in reverse, so you still got some more balancing to figure out. And I think sometimes, it's really easy to either romanticize or demonize our past. But when we look at it in totality, like I just did, it's always my go-to is to think of like the hard times, the hard moments I had as a kid, right? But that wouldn't be a balanced statement because there were many opportunities and many times where it was really fun. I had a really good childhood. I got to go outside and, very young, from like kindergarten to, fourth grade, I was in the same school. So that was 5 years of consistency that I got. That a lot of my other younger siblings didn't really get to have that much. But there's goods and bads with every childhood. Some kids grew up in a very wealthy household, but their parents never told them they loved them or they felt. My dad, for example, his dad made really good money. Like he was an engineer, one of the first black engineers at Boeing for St. Louis. And there's so many pictures of my grandpa just like on these like business trips in like Italy and Spain and all over the world. He went all over the world selling technology with Boeing. And he's like this like young hip black dude, and like these pictures with like all these old ass white dudes in like suits and ties, and here's this nigga in a goddamn fro with his chain around his neck and like just looking like they're like that's me, like that's my, and like that was me as a teacher. I was the department chair, and I'm 20 some years old, got my hair braided and cornrows, and I'm leading a team of 3 white people, 40 plus. One's about to retire, one's in the 50s. You know what I mean? Like, and they're asking me what to do. And it was just, I didn't feel no kind of way. The Hierophant and the Death card at the bottom of the deck. People could see you as also someone here who has, on one hand, you have traditional values, like I feel like you hold traditional values of femininity and masculinity here, but with the Death card here, there is a sense of transformation here, or a changing of how you necessarily relate to yourself in terms of masculinity and femininity, or regards to like what does that mean? Because like you could be also challenging this within other people. Someone could say that, oh, you're a very feminine male or you're a very masculine woman. But what they're realizing is like, no, like that's not true. It's just that you're just you're not a masculine woman. You're someone who knows what they want, and you have self-assuredness. You're confident. You have these traits that all women should have, but because you exude them, where maybe women have been taught to kind of like shrink themselves, don't overdo it, let the man be the man in a relationship, don't try to force things, just sit there and, cry and wait for things to come your way, when you're like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I'm going to get what I want. And that could be intimidating to some people here. But let's get back to the reading, okay? It's 21 minutes. I've literally only pulled 2 cards. I'm telling you, sometimes I'm like, I think these readings are more for me than it is for you guys. And I apologize for that. But I'm just joking. This is for all of us. The Queen of Cups here in reverse. Okay, so what is it that you are denying compassion towards? Yourself? The people from the past have hurt you? You're holding on to something here where you should let it go. You're trying to with the Queen of Cups in reverse. But there is a little bite, you know. It's not necessarily it's like, you know, okay, so there's a difference when people pull back their energy out of spite, you know, like the difference between the silent treatment, ghosting, and like, you know, no contact. You know, if you go no contact with someone, most of the time it's probably to preserve like your you know, your emotions, your energy, your space, to be able to process things on your own without, you know, biased people weighing in their energy, kind of contaminating your own. If you're an empath like me, then you have a hard time with boundaries. And what I mean by that is like knowing what's your feeling versus someone else's feeling. And I really struggle with like knowing my skin is getting a lot better really quickly. I'm happy about that. Sorry, ADHD. But, you know, just really being like, okay, like, am I upset about this, or is this person projecting their like hostility towards me? And like that's what I'm picking up on. So sometimes, you know, I have to take a step back, and then there's sometimes where I just completely detach because I just can't like deal with it, right? So that's a little more like ghosting, when you just can't deal with the consequences of your actions. Maybe you don't want to tell this person you're not that into them. Maybe you just rather lose the connection than apologize, or it didn't mean that much to you, which is immature, but also no one's entitled to, it's the way I look at it, no one's entitled to closure. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of times in life, you don't get closure in situations. The only closure we get is the one that we make in a lot of situations that we find ourselves in. So, hence why a lot of people come to tarot, to look for closure. But I think what this situation is, you are pulling your energy back, mostly to protect yourself. But there is a little, like, if this person, you know, you want this person, or you want these people, and there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever, I'm just saying this, you want these people to know that they hurt you, but they didn't stop you, and that you don't need them to be great. You know, like, this is, okay, so let's say you and your parents aren't that close, right? You don't talk that often. Well, you know, when in times of need, you may need to reach out more, and they feel good because, you know, that's giving them validation. That's giving them a sense of belonging in your life, right? But when times are good, you know, they're never around. You don't hear from them. You know, you don't reach out to them. They don't reach out to you, type of shit. But like here coming up, it's like you're maybe going through it right now, but you ain't reaching out to them because you don't want them to feel like they have something over you, or you don't want to be the person that's only reaching out when you need something. But it's also like the sense of like, I don't need you. I can figure this out on my own. And, you know, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of helping me. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. I'm not gonna pulled too many cards because it's already at 26 minutes. I probably got to take some of this out because of the whole coffee thing. I got to figure out how to edit that part out. The Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I think the mask is starting to fall off. You're starting to see people's true intentions here. The people who hurt you, maybe you gave them too many chances. You gave them too much grace. You've made too many excuses for other people's behaviors. When in reality, you know, these people were manipulating you the whole time. It was a lie. It was a lie the whole time. Ugh, excuse me. Who's that? Carly Red. Yeah, Carly Red. Two of Swords in reverse. What's being unmasked, revealed here? The King of Wands. Yeah. These people try to, in my opinion, you are a very powerful person here. You are someone who has natural leadership. And I think it's because of the adversary that you faced. It's due to your tenacity. You know, strength has many forms. It's not just always 27. It's not always just aggression or assertiveness, boldness. You know, the silent strength. The strength of holding everything together, the strength of being the grounded person, the strength of temperance, the strength of calm, the strength of, you know, reserved, you know, being able to hold something back, not going off, you know, being able to listen to the sales rep talk they talk without like getting angry because you need to get to the bottom of it. Right? Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords here. Yeah. You're freeing yourself from this poverty mindset here, this lack mindset, this, you know, not good enough mindset. You are the only exception. Ten of Cups and the Sun here at the bottom of the deck. People... Okay, so there could be someone here that's Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups. As you continue to heal, as you continue to move forward and like allow yourself to be, and also the Queen of Cups in reverse, I think this is you also. I want to reiterate this. This is someone who people may see you as weak. And I don't want to be offensive, right? But even that, like, there I go. I'm trying to make you feel comfortable with saying something that you don't even have to claim is true or not. I have no reason to do that other than I care about your feelings and I don't want to be offensive. And a lot of that, some of it is because, you know, I don't want to offend you because I don't want you to click off this video. Okay, so I'm trying to keep viewership up. 29. We want to get down to authenticity. Sometimes being the nice guy is manipulative, right? You're being nice because you want something out of it. I want you to stay on these, and I'm just being transparent here, right? Of course I want you to stay on these videos. I want you to continue to listen to me. I want this to be palatable for you. And I know people are very sensitive these days to criticism and critique and feedback. So if I say, oh, people think you're soft and easy, that's going to offend some people who are soft and easy. So I have to say it in a palatable way where it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm not trying to say that you're soft and weak, but some people may think you're soft and weak because you come off as soft and weak to some people. Now, to me, I do too. I'm just going to own that. I know I do. I know that people try me every fucking day. They try me all the time. And then they get this Queen of Cups in reverse. And then they find out that I'm not that bitch. I'm that nigga. Okay? So somebody thought you was that bitch, but you that nigga. So, what I mean by that is, these people, because you come off as very nice, and you probably are a nice, kind-hearted person. You know, you don't mean, you're not trying to offend people, but you are going to say the truth. You're not going to just sit there and look stupid. If someone says, do I look ugly in this dress? Girl, you look a hot-ass mess. Why the fuck did you put that shit on? Now, do you have to say it like that? No. You could say it like, I don't think that dress is working for you the way you think it is, which is a little shady, but that's a lot you know, sometimes shady is funny. It helps deliver the joke a little bit. Or you could be like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like the indecisiveness to make them question themselves, to get them to like come to their own conclusion, like a teacher, like very what's the word? Socratic. Like, how do you think this looks? What do you think about this? You know what I mean? And then you just have straight up blunt, like, no, you look a fucking mess. Take that shit off. And then you have the nice guy. The, oh no, it looks great. I love that on you. That's your color. Knowing damn well you look a hot ass mess. Now, who is wrong? Because when you get them pictures the next day and you're like, oh my God, why was my stomach was hanging out? Why did y'all not say nothing to me? Oh, well, you know, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I wish you would have hurt my feelings before you let me go out to the club looking like this. What did Alexis Michelle say? So no one thought to tell me to not put that dress on the runway tonight? And the girls was like, girl, this is a competition. I'm not here to fucking tell you how to dress Drag Race. And she was like, no one thought to tell me that, hey, you should change. I'm like, bitch, no. That's a different scenario. What I'm talking about this one is the nice person goes damn near is just fucking lying just to keep the peace. And you're no longer doing that. You know, you're no longer feeding into delusional ass people's thoughts. You know, there could be a lot of people, you had like 5 people, a lot of them people need you for validation. You validate some bullshit in them. And now that you stop doing that, they're about to lose their fucking minds. Can't make it up. Look what just fell out. Y'all saw that, the tower. I'm taking that too. The tower is here, y'all. The tower. You intuitively went through a tower moment and you try to bounce back from it. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna get through this reading, y'all. I know. Hit that like and subscribe button because I've been doing good. Y'all been getting y'all daily videos. Hit that like and subscribe for me, please. Yeah, the Queen of Cups and the Five of Cups and below. Reversed. You have accepted this about you that, you know, perhaps you're overcoming this codependent, people-pleasing behavior because you love the validation that you could provide for people. It kept people close to you. You know, if you could be the yes man, that meant that you were their friend. That meant that, you know, these people would stay around, stick around, be there for you. In return, you would validate some bad behaviors. And I think you realize that you're realizing that, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. I've overlooked a lot of red flags when it came to these people here. You know, these toxic family members. Oh, that's just my mama. Oh, that's just my daddy. Like, you know, but they've been saying some weird shit to you lately. Like people have really been trying you. They've been really trying to see if you really walk this lifestyle, 34. You know, like some people really are trying you because they don't believe that you've changed. The Hermit here in reverse with the Magician here. Yeah, these people do not want to accept. They want you to just be depressed and lonely, and you know they don't want you to be this new enlightened version of yourself. And when I mean enlightened, I'm not meaning like you just came back from the fucking mountains of Tibet and now you're like holier than thou and like you're you know, practicing, you know, whatever. You're just someone here who you've learned how to take accountability for your actions here, and you don't blame the people from your past. You're not blaming your parents for their you know, missteps or what they've done, because you understand now that like parents are human. And, you know, 35 when I was a little boy, you know, my dad in my eyes was like indestructible, like a superhero, right? Because like, you know, just to me, like, you know, when I was with my dad, like I felt like no one could hurt me. I was safe. And like some people don't have that experience. But I also had this other experience where like my dad made me feel very unsafe. Him personally, like he was the scary one. Like, I didn't have to worry about anybody else being scary because he took care of that. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes he made me feel unsafe because he was so loud and he gets just like frustrated. You know, I'm a little kid. I don't understand why he's always so angry. But as I get older, I understand, like, yeah, the pressures of society to be a father, and then you got, you know, what he was dealing with my mom and his other baby mamas. And I'm not trying to give him, like, you know, a pass for what he was doing or saying, but I understand and I see now when you got all your kids are grown, but you have okay at best connections with all of them. Like, that sucks. You know, I'm sure that sucks. You know, I'm sure it doesn't feel good to subconsciously, deep down, know that, like, you know, like, you are not, no one's, you know, jumping for joy to come visit. Or, that sounds so terrible to say out loud. Oh, I hate to say that out loud. God, that sounds so terrible. That sounds so terrible. But, you know, I go weeks without talking to some of my parents. How many I got? You know, it's not uncommon for me to go weeks, months without hearing from my parents, and they both live in the same city as me. You know, it's not uncommon to not talk to my mom for weeks on end, or my father for weeks on end. That's not uncommon. That's very common. You know, we have a very transactional kind of relationship where, you know, they need something, I'm there. I need something, they're there, kind of. You know, kind of on both ends. But it's not like I don't feel like a genuine, like, oh, like, I really just want to, like, just visit just to visit. You know, when you just call your friend, just, I don't want nothing, I just want to say what's up. Just, you know, hear from you. There's none of that. It's, oh, can you do this? Oh, I need this. Oh, can you help me with this? There has to be a premise for the connection here. And I think you are, you're accepting that for what it is, and you're not trying to, you know, make it anything more. You're not longing for this deep bond anymore. You're accepting that this is how our relationship is, and this is exactly what it is. Me and my siblings are like that. We're not like super duper close. I don't, hey sis, what you doing this weekend? Oh, nothing. Let me come up and just talk and hang out with you. There has to be something there. And there's no, like, and I don't know why. I don't have anything against any of my siblings. I'm not jealous. I'm not angry. I'm the oldest. I love them all. I support them all. I want them all to be happy. But it's just like we just never really got like that. That bond is not there. And maybe, you know, and it used to really bother me. It really did. It used to really bother me, but I'm such a reclusive person myself. I think it's just who I naturally am. I am a very look but don't touch kind of person. Like, I am very warm and loving, but also I love to be alone, and I love to, like, retreat into my seclusion. So I think that kind of, like, throws people off a lot when it comes to me, because I do have, like, these great social interactions, but I also crave my alone time. I love being alone. I love it. 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 And I think that might be a trauma response too. Could be, but to me, it's like, I could just sit here and watch YouTube, and I can learn about different things. I can come on the camera and I can get my social out that way, because this is social interaction for me. Honestly, this is the best way to socially interact, because it's controlled. I get to determine what I say, when I say, and who I say it to. And then you can respond accordingly. I think when it comes to what's going on with you, you feel very similar. You're someone who very much protects your space, and you're just accepting the situations for where they are. You're no longer trying to, you know, make your parents, you know, want to be a part of your day-to-day life. You're not trying to mend the bridges between you and your siblings that you feel like is, you know, there, but maybe aren't really there for real. Get away from me. You know, you're done. Like, you're not trying to solve anyone's problems. You don't, I'm not saying you don't care, but, like, you know, You wish everyone well, but hell, if you don't call, you don't call. That's how I feel. That's how you feel too. You know, you're tired of trying to be the one that always fixes the relationship. You're accepting the fact that, like, if these people were interested in investing in your life, that they would make more of damn. If these people wanted to be a part of your life, they would be a part of your life. They would want to reach out to you more. They would call you more. If my mom wanted to talk to me, she would call me more. If my dad wanted to talk to me, he would call me more. If I wanted to talk to him, I would call him more. 4141, okay? It doesn't mean I hate you. It just doesn't necessarily ring like, oh my God, we're like the closest family. You know what I mean? Two of Swords here and the Five of Wands. So you revealing all of this is going to stir the pot. They're going to say you stirring the pot. You know, you being honest. You know, having this clarity here. This, hell, you can even say you're creating avoidance in other people here because you could see clearly all the bullshit, and now people want to like stick their head back in the sand, and they can't do that now because you've unmasked something here. You've named the fucking thing. You called the elephant out. You know, you said you told the emperor he's wearing no clothes. You know, everyone was just, you know, just la di da di da 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 da. I'm gonna ignore the elephant in the room. And you're like, y'all don't see this pink motherfucker right here? Like this pink motherfucking big ass elephant? Y'all don't see this shit? Damn, well now I do. You know what I mean? You literally could have been, yeah. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. I was about to say you could have been born in a family full of avoidance. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Judgment card here, I feel like you are a good luck charm, and people will feel that when you walk away. When you're not around, things start to go down that these people don't normally experience. When you're around, these people may feel lighter. They could feel more jovial. I'm not that Seven of fucking Swords. I'm sick of seeing your punk ass. People like to give you their burdens. That's why. You're really good at carrying other people's emotions. You help people process things that they normally wouldn't. You help people see things from a different perspective here. And these people take you for granted. They look at your depth as confusion, as aloofness. You know, because you stare off into space, they think that you aren't thinking about anything. You're just an airhead. When in actuality, you're in a whole different other plane of existence, like contemplating like math equations that they don't even comprehend. You're thinking about three things that, you know, they don't even see coming. People have misjudged you your whole life. Low key, you've learned how to use that in your benefit, which is another sign of your brilliance, because you have enough, what's the word? Self-assurance, you know, sense of self, to allow people to underestimate you and not feel your ego is being threatened, because you know that you are a really highly intelligent person here, and you have high emotional intelligence as well. Page of Swords here in reverse. Some people want it all, but I don't. People really have got their eyes fixed upon you right now, because this Wheel of Fortune and this Judgment card here, I think this is also indicative of you. You are the good luck charm, which means the good luck is also for you. You make good decisions. You have good timing. You use divine timing. You know how to sit your ass down and be patient. Maybe you're a little restless with it. Maybe you may, you know, like it's like this. I know I will check my sub list every morning, you know, and just watching it grow up. Like this week has just been so fun. Every morning I wake up and I'm just like, oh, I got more. And it's like, you know, you could check it 50 times. That's not going to make your channel, you know, it's not gonna make it go up any faster. You know what I mean? You can sit there and stare at the water until it boils, but if you walked away and sat down and watched an episode of something, it was gonna boil at the same time anyway. You know what I mean? So you could check it all you want. These people could check in all you want, but they can't change the narrative. They can't delineate you from your path. They cannot misdirect you. They cannot redirect you. You are on a trajectory that is divinely guided here because you have done the hard work. Hierophant here. The King of Wands and the Hierophant here. Dude, you guys are gold. What I see for you is this person of, you know, the King of Wands here and the Hierophant. Your experiences are shaping your teachings. Like, this is about tradition. This is about hierarchy. This is about order. So I see you as someone here who is very ordered in like your thoughts and your feelings. And the King of Wands is you use your experiences to make fair, balanced decisions that come from a passion, but also like this desire and active, like activism. Like you are someone who is very passionate about helping others as well. And I think this Page of Wands energy is someone who really wants to challenge that. They don't want to believe that you are this, you know, good person because maybe you yelled at them. Maybe you made them feel small. And it's not like you just like this vacuum of a person where like, you know, you're... Hell, even Mother Teresa had a few sins on her fucking, you know, list. So you're not a perfect person. Yeah, you may have popped off. You might have had to check a bitch once or twice in the day, present day. Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, you may have turned somebody down. You may have put somebody on red. Yeah, I might have left you on red. I don't want to go on a date with you. You know, I made it very, you know, you're very short with people that you don't want to fuck with. And this person is going to take that to be like, oh, well, you think you're too good for me. No, I don't think I'm too good for you. I'm just not here to entertain your silly ass. And so the silly ass people are going to be like, no, they're not good. They're not a good person. And it's like, dude, no, they're not the problem. It's you. This person doesn't want to be bothered with you. They have the right to not want to be bothered with you. Doesn't matter who you are. So anyone who tries to weaponize your silence as, an attack or a silent attack, or you're, you know, gaslighting, or you're trying to punish them, when all you're really trying to do is just give yourself space so you could weigh out your own emotions, just call them on their bullshit. And like, that's what you're doing. You're calling people on their bullshit. You're not trying to take the high road and just be like, no, it's okay. Like, no, like you're fucking up. You know what I mean? Like you're calling people out. For example, you know, my friend and I, we're going through this little, I don't know what this is. We got into a little disagreement. I thought it was a little disagreement. You know, she was drunk. I wasn't, but I had been drinking. And she tried to create this narrative that like I was like this terrible meanie and I was like saying all these horrible things about her, when in reality I was telling her about herself and she didn't like what I was saying, but I wasn't being like mean or malicious. And she just tried to make me feel like I was just like the worst person on earth. And it kind of got to me for a little bit. It did. But then I had to tell myself, I asked my other two friends that were in the car, the driver who was completely sober, and my other friend who was in the back seat next to her. I was in the passenger seat. And I was like, so be honest, like, what did I say? What did I do? Did I do anything that was like over the line? Because she's trying to make it seem like I'm just like this horrible friend out of nowhere. And like, I have been there for you for almost 15 years. Like, I was in your fucking wedding. Like, I've dog sat, cat sat for you guys. We go to, like, we do everything together. Like, we're like best friends. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is like a sister to me. Like, that hurt me so badly. But, you know, the Queen of Cups in reverse, I'm not about to let you see that. I'm not about to let you, and like, you threatened to abandon me and cut me off because of this argument. We get into one little fight. And your mom got scared and said, you're moving to your auntie and uncles in Bel Air. I literally have a key to your house. What are you talking about? You just gonna abandon me? Like, you just gonna cut me out of your life because I told you that you need to, like, stop. What did I tell her? Like, you always play the victim. Like, you're always, everything is always happening to you. And it's true. Like, you always play the victim. You always the victim. We over here supposed to be having a, everybody share their story. And then it get, your turn. You go first, but you took up 22 minutes to do the opposite of telling, like, this, like, tragedy. And I was like, hey, can somebody else go? And I probably, I ain't gonna say probably, I definitely didn't say it in a very, compassionate, loving way. I was very short. I was already irritated because of how drunk you were. And that's a different story. But anyway, to say all that to say this, I'm going through this stuff too, guys. I just always want you all to know that I'm not, if I say things that are too harsh or you feel like it's too harsh, sometimes that's just how I talk to myself. That Five of Swords is still there. You know what I mean? Like that, talk to yourself kind of hard, kind of like, stop being a bitch. Get your ass up and go to the gym. Like, stop fucking around and get this shit done. You know what I mean? Not always the gentle, like, I can't always gentle parent myself. I gotta get, like, tough in my ass and be like, all right, get your ass up and come make these fucking videos. You've been talking on this camera for fucking 53 fucking minutes, okay? Get on with the point. Get to the fucking point. Don't nobody want to keep hearing your little sad fucking stories. And then it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Chill out, chill out, chill out. Don't rush me. This is my channel. You can always watch it at 1.25, 1.5, or 2. You can click off. Or you can go to the next chapter. Secondly, people do like to hear my story. People do want to hear what I have to say because this is where tarot meets real life. This is just, I could just sit here and read these cards, but anyone could do that. You can click on any other channel and get someone to just read cards. But I think what makes me stand out is the fact that I do like to incorporate real life stories, real life stuff, so you could see and hear from me what it is that I go through and how I interpret these cards and how I navigate through them. Okay? So I hear the mean shit in my head. I have to redirect it with a nice positive thought and balance it out with both, because let's move on. I don't want to keep talking about this. So let's wrap this reading up here. Thank you guys for being here. This has been a long one. Didn't plan on it to be this long, but hey, you know what's crazy? I literally had the intention of, okay, make this under 30 minutes. And it's like, nope, we're going to make this double. But hey, it is what it is. But before we go, I do want to say I do see the Six of Cups here and the Knight of Pentacles. So there is a hope of mending past, conflicts here with people coming up in the future. But I do see it being a very slow, take your time, fill it out. If this is family or friends or whomever you're having this conflict with, this person, honestly, this person is in their head. They're avoiding their internal battles by choosing to not see the new version of you. And that's what's creating you to want to stay away from this person. This is the aunt, uncle, the mom who can't see their adult child as an adult. They only want to see you as the little 8-year-old who couldn't, make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on their own. You know what I mean? They don't want to acknowledge the fact that you are a 40-year-old, sexually active woman. They don't want you to stay in that little 8-year-old mindset of, like, listen to your mommy, do what your mommy and daddy say. They want you to believe what they want you to believe in. These are the parents who, I'm a Republican, my kids are going to be Republicans. Or I'm a Democrat, my kids are going to be Democrats. Or, I'm a libertarian, my kids are going to be libertarians. This is someone who is almost narcissistic. I'm not going to call people narcissists because I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. But this is someone here who definitely is having some type of internal processing issues with accepting the fact that you are an independent thinker. You've grown out of this need to have other people's approval here. 5555 on the clock. Lots of change is coming around you. 5555, that's 20 judgment here. So you have to make the decision to be this boss, this King of Wands, this Hierophant. But this Knight of Pentacles here, this is someone here who is very reluctant. I think you really are reluctant when it comes to wanting to make amends with these past people, because you just, for some reason, I don't think that you truly believe that they've done the work to change themselves. And you know that, like, you can't keep these low vibrations around you because they will pull you back into that state, and you don't want to go there. You are in the process of ascension, and nothing can take you out of that. I need you to say that. Nothing can take me out of this highest timeline that I am currently in. What a blessing it is to have this opportunity to ascend and be a model, a representation of what ascension looks like here on this planet. 5656. You're modeling ascension for the next generation, for people here who are in the transition of leaving their old life, shedding that skin to make this new path for them. You know, I believe entrepreneurship is the future here. Honestly, it should have been the past. We should have never had a time where we were making millions for other people just to obtain pennies. And not everybody wants to be their own boss. Of course, I get that. But there needs to be more equity when it comes to how we employ people. You don't have someone work for pennies while you squander, hoard, steal all the money because it was your idea. Okay, let me get my soapbox here. This is a long ass video. Guys, I hope that resonated with you all. Yeah. I hope that resonated with you guys. 5757. I keep seeing all these angel numbers. Guys, get out of nature if you can. I know it's rainy out, but like, I just want you guys to go outside, talk to God, talk to nature, talk to the universe. Put your headphones in, go for a walk. Just give me like 20 minutes of that today, and you're gonna like really see things a lot clearer. For some reason, I just felt compelled to say that. As always, I love you guys. Drink water, be safe, and peace.